Hello, my name's Luke, and I'm kind of awesome.
Alright, I'm Owen Osborne, and basically, I'm kind of a big deal.
Alright, I'm Joe Briley. I'm a media student at Carlisle College.
So what was the last time you played Overwatch?
It's about 6 months ago.
Alright. Is that like fully played or just
Like, it's just messing around on quick play and stuff, just seeing how it's changed since I last played.
Last time I played Overwatch was last night.
I briefly got back into the game like 4 months ago. Didn't go into ranked too much. Well, I played like a couple games. I think I got ranked, but the like new rule system thing they implemented was it just too long waiting times, and especially to get like damage characters really put me off just to keep playing the game. What made you first play the game?
It was about year 8 and everyone I knew was playing on the Xbox and playing Overwatch, so I thought I'd go out, I'd get it, and I'd play it, and I really enjoyed it.
I first started playing it. Well, first I wanted to play it because I found it quite unique. Like I know we have like Team Fortress 2 is like a lot similar, but I didn't play it as it was pretty much exclusively on PC, and I played mainly console. And also I was just interested in all of the different characters. All the characters were unique, all the different abilities, so it just made me want to kind of try out all the characters.
I think a couple of my friends had talked about it. I was one of the first people in my friend group to get it, so I think it was mainly like it was starting to get popular like on YouTube, and I was seeing people play it. I liked the look of the gameplay. One of my favorite games was TF2, and still kind of is. So seeing something that like looked very similar to that but not the same interested me, so I decided to get the game. What's your favorite part of the game?
Favorite part of the game is probably ranked. As sad as it is. I don't know. I enjoy ranked. I enjoy the longer games. I enjoy the kind of stress of trying to win.
The different characters and how they all work together, and how just how much fun you can have with different characters and different ways to play.
I think having like a good team or just that like last minute push where like it's win or lose, and like that last moment that decides it all. That feeling of like overcoming like a really like hard like moment and having to really like try, and your whole team just coming together to like have this one final push to like win. I think that like that feeling is was probably like, the best part of the game. When would you say Overwatch was in its prime?
I'd say it was probably in its prime, like pretty much on release, or maybe like a year after, just because of it was fresh, it was new, all the characters were unique, everyone was still learning. They hadn't added like really big changes, like new maps or anything, and all the maps that the game came with were pretty good, I'd say. And then they kind of got worse as the released new ones. So I'd say probably 2016, 2017.
Well, for me, it was about 2017 to like 2018, when like people were still hyped about certain characters coming into the game and things like that.
I think like a couple months after it released, for me at least, like it came out in 2016, I think, and it didn't blow up until like a bit after. I think I first got into it in its first like Chinese New Year event, and I think it was shortly after that, around like the anniversary event, where like I think everyone I knew was starting to play it, and like all of my friends were playing during that event. I remember. Um, it might have just been like the double XP stuff, or I don't know what. Like, but I think that kept people in, and that was like the longest time I played it, and that's when I was most into it. Do you think all the characters in the game are diverse?
I'd say they are very diverse, both in like their abilities and in like their like race and like sexuality and everything. Like, I feel like abilities, some characters are kind of the same, like similar, but they have different roles. Like you have like the shield tanks. They have some of them are like Reinhardt. You stand there with the shield and hold it. And like Orisa, you can place down the shield, so it's a bit kind of different. They have different play styles, and then diverse. A lot of like gay characters or like just lots of different like races and stuff in the game, which is nice to see.
I think they're very diverse. There's a lot of ethnicities and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I don't think there's like another character that could do someone else's job. Even the characters that have like similar things like Symmetra and Torbjorn, both having turrets, they both do it in a very different way. I think Symmetra is more of like a slow burn and can like, do different areas, and Torbjorn's more focused. There's a lot of characters that like do similar things, but they have a different specialty.
Like a different role.
Do you think that the animation is at a feature film level?
I think some of them are really good, but it still does look like a game, I feel, but this is from a few that I've seen.
I'd say it is, yeah. I really enjoyed when I watched them, and they kept me really engaged when I watched them, and I enjoyed like the storyline of them because I understood it as I played the game a lot, so I kind of knew what the characters kind of did and kind of knew like kind of the backstories, I guess. So it made a lot of sense story-wise, and the animation was overall just really good and engaging to watch.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know if this is true, but I read somewhere Overwatch wasn't originally planned to be a movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I don't know if like the shorts came from like what they intended to do with it, but I think just looking at it, I remember specifically like the Bastion one was like really like nice to look at. It was really pretty, and it's just I think they've just consistently kept that level of quality for their like trailers and stuff, and it's just always like nice to look at, even if I'm not too interested in what's going on screen. Do you think Overwatch was a unique concept?
I'd say it was, yeah. I mean, like I said before, it's similar to like Team Fortress 2 in games like that. However, I feel like the concept of it being a lot more team orientated, more than solo orientated, made it a really unique experience, especially with all the different characters with like different guns or weapons and stuff.
To an extent, there was a lot of comparisons with that in Team Fortress 2, but the way it's taken it's different, and it became its own thing.
I think so. I think he came out in a time where like there was a lot of class-based shooters. Like there was Battleborn. There was a few others that came out, but I think Overwatch. I mean, like class-based shooters wasn't like a new concept. TF2 had done it for like around almost 10 years at that point, but ironically enough, like Team Fortress 2 was less team-based than Overwatch. In that game, you could sort of go off and do your own thing. With Overwatch, with the smaller team sizes, it sort of focused on you having to work together to like complete an objective. And I think that's what made it really stand out, is the fact that you really had to work together. You couldn't really... I mean, you could carry on your own, but it was much harder if you were up against a team that like knew what they were doing.